Well, hello again. Welcome to our little shop. Today we have another bass to work on. And just like a previous bass video that I had done, this one came from the same music store with the music store setup. And as I like to say, this guy is a repeat offender. They're a Fender authorized dealer, but usually see some pretty wonky stuff here from them. So first of all, let's cover what's going on here to start with. You see our neck is out of alignment. They've also roughed up the truss rod nut and pick guard here. Again, using one of those round-ended Fender truss rod adjustment tools. The neck is actually too straight. The action is actually too low. It's actually lower on the bass side than it is on the treble side. Treble side is actually too high, bass side is too low. The nut has never been cut, so it's way too high. So we're going to give this bass a good going over. When I was talking to the customer a while ago, we saw that it had a few small fret problems up high here. So we're going to be doing a little bit of spot fret work on it. Just some minor spot redressings. It's not going to need a full fret dress or anything like that. But we got to get this neck off. Check out this truss rod nut because he was a bit concerned about it. So other than that, this ought to be pretty much a straightforward setup job that again was not handled very well at the authorized Fender dealer. So we have the neck off here, and you can see the high fret problems we were talking about that I've marked out here. We're going to take care of those. I've also noticed that the fret ends are shrunken very badly up through here, so they're sticking out, especially up here really bad. So we're going to trim those up too. Apparently this bass has dried out and the fingerboard's shrunken a little bit. Probably a lack of humidity. It's actually a 2017 model, but it was recently just sold like this past weekend. I mean, it is a new guitar, it's new stock, but it's just old new stock from 2017. It's just been hanging in the shop for a while. So anyway, let's get these problems taken care of and get this bass together. See what else we find here along the way. So today for lunch, we're having a chicken enchilada on a bed of rice with carrots, broccoli, corn, and peas. We've got a little bit of salsa on top of the enchilada and some sour cream. We've got some chips, some tortillas, a little salsa back here, and for my chocolate monkey that needs to be fed occasionally, we've got a couple American Reese cups. So we didn't go too far south. Anyway, get my lunch in and get back to work. Alright, well, let's get you caught up here. We've done our light fret dress. I've trimmed the fret ends as well. Done all that. I've set the spacing back here as well as possible on this bridge. I'm not real fond of these bridges. You can't exactly get your spacing exactly right. We've got 4 notches in each bridge saddle, but it doesn't work out right. So we actually have probably about 10 thousandths or 15 thousandths difference between these two strings here than the rest of them. These are a little bit farther apart. Unfortunately, that's as close as we can get it. Uh, I don't know what was wrong with the old single notch bridge saddles, but in most cases, I'm sure Fender considered this as progress. But we have the neck lined up. We've laterally shimmed it. I've put a 16,000 shim in here. Like I do a lot of times, you see the strings are lined up properly on sides of the neck now. I did sand out some of the gouges out of the little cavity here. Can't do anything with this one back here, but the big marks here are gone, just to make it look a little better. I've also tightened up these tuning machines. They were about 1.5 turns loose all over. So we've got the neck back on, we've got the truss rod nut out and cleaned and lubed and put back on. It's not chewed up that bad. I cleaned it up. It's going to be fine. So we're ready to continue on here with our setup now. So the next thing we need to do is adjust the neck properly. Then set the bridge height at the height that I want to cut the nut. Then cut the nut heights. Then go back here and reset the bridge the proper height. A few other things, then we're going to change the strings and carry on. I'm going to change the strings before I do the intonation work and all that, because different brand of strings, and these were put on in 2017. So I'll be back. So I'm going to point something out to you here. Those of you that are paying attention will notice I've taken the pick guard off this guitar. The reason for that is I'm not lazy, so I'm not going to fight trying to get a truss rod wrench down through that slot. I've also ground one a long time ago just for this purpose, make one really short so it fits. So all I have to do is go right in here and I've got my truss rod wrench in there. It's that simple. Makes it a lot easier to do the job right without beating anything up, stripping anything out, or tearing anything else up. And it took a whole, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, had to take a whole 10 screws out. Sorry, it's hard to count through the camera. So I'm going to get this neck adjusted and get moving on here. Alrighty, well, let's recap here. We've got this bass all back together. We cleaned up the truss rod nut. And yes, I want to mention again, be very careful with the truss rod wrenches you use in these. Take a few minutes if you need to take the pick guard off. I do not believe in a rounded end truss rod wrenches that's being supplied with these. Yes, it's quick and easy, but it damages the truss rod nuts. So far we've had here 2 that's been lucky. Anyway, so we've adjusted the neck, cleaned up the truss rod nut, we did a quick fret dress, especially on the upper end of this neck. We did the nut height, we tightened up all the tuning machines, cleaned and oiled the fingerboard. It was very dry. Also trimmed up the fret ends on the side where the fingerboard had shrunk, and it had little knives sticking out at the end of the fingerboard. Checked all the controls, they're all good. Set the bridge height, intonation, set the pickup heights and balance on the pickups. Everything's good there. We also laterally shimmed the neck to line it up to the bridge, or to line the neck up properly. So we're all in good shape here at this point. And there we go, almost 2 hours. So we're going to put this back in the case, check it every day for a few days, let him pick it up at the end of the week, and let him be on his way with his new bass, with his brand new 2017 bass. So here we go. Again, I want to point out this is the second bass. It's come from this particular music store. It's been set up and pretty much mangled in the same way. So be careful with those music store setups. Even if they're free, you may not be getting your money's worth. So till next time, play nice. I'll see you later.